Good morning, everyone. You've tuned into ET now, and this is 11:30 time for the first edition of Market Fatafat with me, Karunya Rao. This is the most comprehensive market wrap. It promises to spot the hottest movers in the stock market over the next 30 minutes. We will take you through the top buzzers and spot where the big trends are emerging. Joining us right here on the show are Kunal Bothra. We have Gaurav Ratnaparki from Sher Khan, as well as my colleague from research, Soumya Sharma. Welcome, guys, on board to Fatafat. Let's start with stock number one then. Aurobindo Pharma is one stock that's sulking away in trade big time, one of the top drags as far as the Nifty Pharma index is concerned. Why that is? Well, on the flip side, the news is not that negative, the way the stock is reacting. They've gotten a US FDA supplement nod for oral amitriptyline, that's the name of the drug. Aurobindo, in fact, is the fourth player to get an extended approval for the same, and Mylan, in fact, has also got an approval for the same extended drug. That's an update, but on the flip side, you're seeing the stock sulking away in trade. Aurobindo Pharma definitely is one of the top losers today to track. Moving on then to stock number two, Engineers India. What are you spotting there, Kunal?
Very strong price volume breakout, Karunya, for Engineers India. Most of the PSU names of similar caliber, I think, have shown good price momentum. Engineers India is trading above its 200 moving averages, 50 moving averages. So there are a lot of positives coming across for the stock price on the short to medium term. I believe that the stock can see an upside of another 8 to 9 rupees from current levels. 132 is where I would place the targets for Engineers India. Would suggest a buy with stop loss at 120.
Right, stop loss is more important. Watch out for 118 levels for that investment bet. Moving on to stock number three, Kalpataru Power. It's a bit of a subdued ones among the entire broad end of the market. Soumya, tell us what's the news here.
Well, talking particularly about Kalpataru Power, well, in today morning, a news hit the exchanges wherein we saw the stock gaining and rising in the morning when the market opened for trade, but has in fact paired all these opening gains and currently is losing close to about 0.4%. Well, the latest when it comes to Kalpataru is they're looking to sell, in fact, they've sold their stake in 3 transmission assets for an approximate value of 3,880 crore rupees. Well, these include 2 wholly owned subsidiaries, Kalpataru Satpura Transco Private Limited and Alipurduar Transmission Limited, and 74% stake in Kohima Mariani Transmission Limited. However, the stock right now is losing close to about 0.4%.
That's right. Moving on to stock number four is a stock that's climbing in trade quite smartly. Gaurav, Prestige Estates, what's your view?
Prestige is moving up in a rising channel on the weekly chart, and the recent short-term correction found support near the lower end of the channel where it formed a base for itself. In terms of levels, 258, 260 acted as a strong support zone, and from there the stock has started moving higher. Even the short-term momentum indicator has started a new cycle from the equilibrium line. So I'm expecting further upside in this counter, and on the higher side it can test its May high of 313.
All right, guys, let's move aside from Market Fatafat for a moment to focus on an important meeting that we're tracking, a cabinet meet that's going to happen today, just 2 days before India's first full-time female finance minister presents her maiden budget. ET now learns the cabinet may be discussing hiking the MSP for the upcoming Kharif season. But it's likely to be an ordinary hike and not like the steep one that happened last year. Parisha joins in with all the details. Parisha?
Yes, the cabinet meeting is going to start in just a few hours from now, and we pick up that MSP for Kharif 2019-20 season is going to be one of the key discussions in the meeting. Yes, as you said, the Kharif MSP this year may not be as high as last year. The hike in MSP may not be as steep as last year because this time the government is focusing on other measures to bring in farm reforms. Remember, the government recently rolled out PM Kisan Samriddhi Yojana, under which it gives out incentives to farmers, cash incentives to farmers. So this time the MSP hike may not be as big as last time, but what we are picking up from sources is that the MSP of paddy, which is considered to be one of the most important Kharif crops, is likely to be increased by 60 rupees from around 1750 rupees per 100 kg now. So although this MSP hike looks fine on paper, let me also remind you that last time the Kharif MSP for paddy was increased by 200 rupees. This time it's going to be only around 60 rupees, which is nearly 6-7% of the current MSP. Just like paddy for other crops also, maize, soybean, bajra, the MSP hike is going to be in range of 6 to 8%. However, having said that, let us not forget that even the new MSP will be 1.5 times the cost of production as the government increased it steeply last time. So MSP hike is very much on the cabinet agenda for now, but we should not have very big expectations from the MSP as this time the hike is only going to be ordinary.
All right, Parisha, thanks much for giving us that heads up. Let's see what this meeting entails and what it throws up by the end of, the event and by the end of this all-important cabinet meet, just 2 days before Nirmala Sitharaman presents her maiden budget for the fiscal. Let's move right on once again with the market Fatafat. We're on stock number 5 and it's Sun Pharma. Quite muted, quite tempered in trade. There's once again a US FDA update when it comes to the way Sun Pharma is also reacting. It's down by just about 0.3%. Let me quickly run you by what exactly is the drug. The name of the drug for which the company has got a US FDA nod is Febixostat. It's the 4th player to get the approval, and the drug is essentially used to treat excessive levels of uric acid. That's the update there. The stock, however, is not doing too much in trade, not reacting too much to that US FDA nod, looking quite tempered, down 0.4%. On the flip side, there's a Canara Bank, which is looking quite resilient. It's gained about 1%. Kunal, the stock in the last couple of weeks has really gained a lot of momentum, and I can see that it's on your buying list as well.
Yes, Karuna, it's one of the stronger PSU performing stocks. Look at the way the stock has climbed up from those 260 levels to 285. So it's one of the front runners in terms of price performance. Of course, SBI is one of the strongest one in terms of the price performance and the way the stock has mapped up over the last few months and quarters. But Canara Bank is trying to inch back towards very strong momentum, and I believe that with this recent surge in the prices, there could be a chance that this stock may be one of the stronger performing candidates even going forward as well. So if this PSU banking rally maintains and persists, then I believe Canara Bank should be heading towards the 305 to 315 target.
All right, that's Canara Bank for you, up almost 1%, looking quite resilient from the entire PSU banking space, one of the outperformers there. Meanwhile, Soumya, DHFL, a stock that's known for its very wild, very divergent moves, once again back in the news.
Well, yes, indeed, this is back in focus. Yesterday also, the stock was in focus after the lenders in the meeting on Monday decided to come up with a resolution plan for DHFL. The latest right now is that the company is set to get fresh credit lines from lenders, consortium of lenders led by Union Bank of India. In fact, lenders believe that since the issue is that of liquidity and not business failure, so they're willing and wanting to lend some amount and considering fresh credit lines to DHFL. They're looking to give slightly extend line loans of 12,000 to 18,000 crore rupees over a year, split as monthly credit facilities of 1,000 to 1,500 crore rupees. Well, that's the latest coming in DHFL, surging in trade, definitely a smart gainer today, gaining close to about 5.2%.
Right, so DHFL 5.2% higher. Moving on to another stock that's buzzing in trade, Gaurav, NMDC. While the entire metals universe may be sulking, this one is looking quite bright.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, NMDC has been witnessing a smart rally since May low of 90. Over there, the stock formed a double bottom kind of pattern, and since then the stock has been rallying nicely. And today it has surpassed a crucial swing high of 118.40. The bulls seem to be having upper hand in this counter. Even the wave structure as well as momentum indicators suggest that the rally is far from over, and the stock can continue to stretch on the upside. And on the higher side, 126 and 135 will be the short-term and medium-term targets respectively.
That's NMDC for you, up 3.5%. Let's move right on to some more stocks to watch out for. IndusInd and Bharat Financial are also in focus. Do remember that today is the date for their merger. Both the entities will combine and merge into a much larger financial entity. At the same time, there's some additional news when it comes to the block deals. Vanguard Group has offloaded Bharat Financial stake of almost worth 300 crore rupees through open market transaction. And at the same time, there's Goldman Sachs Singapore, which has acquired almost 9 lakh shares of the company, which amounts to about 0.6% of the company's equity at a price point of 904 rupees a share. That's the update, and that's something that's keeping Bharat Financial as well as IndusInd Bank in focus. But let's move right on then and talk about stock number 10, Escorts. Kunal, once again, a buy on this?
So yes, Karna, and I believe now Escorts is trying to show a bullish price volume breakout. We've seen the stock heading into some sort of a swing, a breakout as well. The volumes today are slightly better. There is a good amount of interest in the F&O space as well for the stock price. And looking at the way the charts have been structured over the last 2 weeks, I believe Escorts can see further legs on the upside. So that could be an interesting short-term buy from the auto pack. 600 approximately could be a target range and stop us around 560.
There you have it, Escorts for you up 2%. In fact, this week, following the monthly numbers as well, monthly sales figures, Escorts has done quite well. Meanwhile, Soumya, Shoppers Stop is also a stock that's buzzing away, and there's been some block deals, right?
Well, yes, indeed, some amount of buying momentum coming in Shoppers Stop after Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund bought close to about 2% stake on June 28th. And in fact, the stock has been surging and gaining since then. And in the last 4 days, we've seen the stock has gained close to about 5% even today, it's a smart gainer, gaining close to about 2.3%.
Well, that's Shoppers Stop for you. Doing quite well on the back of the fact that Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund has bought into it. Meanwhile, HDFC Life is another stock that's rallying in trade. It's gained about 2.5% as we speak. Gaurav, this is one stock that has seen a very sharp up move in the last 1 month. Tell us, what is your verdict?
In case of HDFC Life, the current leg of the rally has started from the junction of 40 daily exponential moving average and Delhi lower Bollinger Band. So the move has started from a strong support zone, and hence it is managing to sustain in the higher levels. The hourly chart shows that the stock has formed a triangular pattern and has broken out on the upside today. So as long as it sustains above 470, it's likely to continue on the upside. So the recommendation over here is to buy at current level with stop loss below 470, and on the higher side target is placed at 504.
Target of 504, the stock perched at 481 with a gain of 2.6%. Meanwhile, Soumya, Tata Communications, another stock that's being a bit of a drag today.
Well, yes, it is under pressure after the latest being a resignation of Vinod Kumar as the MD and CEO of the company. This is with effect from July 5. In fact, his resignation comes ahead of his ending of his tenure. The tenure was supposed to end on Jan 31st, that of 2021, but this is definitely he's resigned, and this will be effective from July 5. But the stock is clearly under pressure, although off from the day's low, but still losing close to about 1%.
Well, yes, that is Tata Communications for you, which has lost about 1% almost in trade. Meanwhile, Indiabulls Housing Finance, we just saw an important news also flash at the bottom of your screen at the start of the show, which is pulled Indiabulls Housing Finance up quite sharply, 4.5% higher. Indiabulls Housing says that they will be buying back NCDs of face value of 10 lakh rupees each. That's an important update. In fact, there was some update with respect to the total amount as well. Yes, they're going to buy back about 1,380 crore rupees worth of NCDs that are maturing in the month of September. They'll also buy back 1,330 crores worth of masala bonds as well, which are due in the month of October. So that's something that they had stated just a couple of minutes back, and the stock is looking very, very smart and very, very resilient on back of that update. Moving on to stock number 15, Soumya, Graphite India. What's the update?
Well, this was one stock that was losing in the earlier part of the day today after the company had decided to permanently close and exit its operations in the Bangalore plant in Whitefield. And this is what, and they even received permission from the Karnataka state government for the same. But right now what we're seeing is the stock has reversed all those opening losses and now currently is gaining close to about 0.2% despite the shutdown of one of their plants.
Okay, that's stock number 15 for you, Graphite India. 15 stocks down, 15 more to go. Let's stop here for a quick break. We have more on the other side. Back to see watching Market Fatafat. We have Kunal Bothra, Gaurav Ratnabarki and Soumya Sharma on the show with us. Let's kickstart, or rather take it from where we left before the break. Stock number 16, Asian Paints, and not just Asian Paints, even Berger, Akzo Nobel, all these paint companies definitely are in focus. Do remember that there was a massive overnight fall in the crude oil prices. Now that's something that's keeping these stocks upbeat in trade. Good up move seen, good cheer seen. Crude fell overnight despite OPEC agreeing to extend output cuts and despite the sharp inventory draw in the month of June. So that's something that transpired overnight. This morning prices have stabilized a tad bit, but still Brent continues to trade below $63 a barrel. But Asian Paints definitely having a gala time in trade on back of that development that crude oil prices have come off a fair bit. Moving on to stock number 17, Exide Industries. Kunal, the stock in the last 2-3 days has seen a good up move. Is it likely to continue?
It seems like, Mubina, because the stock is trying to get back into some sort of a volume and a price push. We've seen the stock heading from 200, 202 levels to 208, and that too in a gradual fashion. Now, Exide has been a low beta stock. It's showing signs of a pattern of higher highs and higher lows on the very short-term time frame charts, which is the hourly degree time frame. So if this gets extrapolated to even the daily charts, then I believe we could see a big turnaround for the stock price, in the near term or in the short term as well. So Exide could be a good buy at current levels. I had earlier placed a target closer to 212. I'm revising it higher to almost 215 for the stock price at current levels, and stop loss could also be trailed up higher looking at the market price.
Okay, let's move away from auto to the world of healthcare, and Aster DM is one stock that's looking quite sharp in trade. Soumya, tell us what's the update.
Well, today's gains in Aster DM are on back of a very positive brokerage note by HSBC, wherein they're maintaining a buy stance with a target price of 205 rupees per share. They believe that their presence across various income segments and value chain would support strong revenues and margins. Also, both the Middle East and Indian operations are moving ahead as it was planned by the company, and also the stock is trading at a 40% discount to its peers, and as a result, they say that it's hard to really ignore such reasonable and this valuation gap. So they're maintaining a buy stance with the target price of 205 per share. We'll note for Aster DM, it was quite under pressure once True North offloaded their stake in this company, but right now it's definitely gaining close to about 3.6%.
Right, let's move on then to another name from the healthcare space. It's Biocon, and like many of its pharma peers, this one is also sulking in trade. Gaurav, what do you think about the chart patterns it's projecting right now?
The Biocon is in a downtrend from short-term as well as medium-term perspective. The recent bounce from June low is showing corrective structure, which means it is unlikely to develop into a larger structure on the upside. In fact, the stock is struggling near its crucial daily moving averages, and today it has fallen below its crucial hourly moving averages. So the bounce can be considered as an opportunity to initiate a fresh short position. Immediate support for the counter is at 250, and below that one can initiate a fresh short position with stop loss at 256, and on the downside target will be 239, which is close to daily lower Bollinger Band.
Alright, that's the word on Biocon. The stock, however, is down by nearly 1.5%. And another stock that's looking a tad bit muted in trade is Tech Wabag. Do remember the stock had seen a very strong up move in the early hours of the trading day. It has cooled off a tad bit, still continues to trade higher by about 0.2%. Now, what essentially happened is the management had come on air on ET Now and spoke about the various developments that are taking place in the company, and they also said that conservation and treatment of water is key. It's not just it's not just an option anymore, and there's a major lack of availability as well of water, and that's why it's a very critical thing to do right now. Recycled water, he says, now has to be used by thermal power plants. Cost of desalination, according to Vartech, can be brought down considerably. Rainwater harvesting must be statutory and required given the entire water crisis that's panning out. So we got some important, very, very timely commentary when it comes to Tech Wabag's management. The stock down, up by about just 0.2% in trade. Kunal, meanwhile, Bank of India is a stock in focus. Even that one, just like Canara Bank, is witnessing a very good up move.
Absolutely, Karuna, and it's going through a steady uptrend. Yet again, the stock has just about broken its 200-day and the 50-day moving averages, and I think now there could be a case of a catch-up of sorts for even Bank of India. Now, it's not as strong as a chart as maybe some of the other names like Canara Bank or SBI, but I think it's showing potential on the shorter term time frame degree chart. So if this entire PSU banking rally persists and continues for even some more time, then I believe most of these stocks which I discussed, Canara Bank and Bank of India, they could rise up significantly from current levels.
Hey, nice dress. Okay, Kunal, Gaurav as well as Soumya, we'll have to wrap it up because we're completely out of time. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on board and for helping our viewers out with all the stocks to watch out for in trade today. With that, it's a goodbye.